Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, Senegal as a country in Africa is proving a point to African countries, especially when it comes to the kind of change that we have been yearning for and we end up not achieving. Especially when it comes to the issue of outside forces playing into our own local politics and making a decision for us on who should be our president when it comes to election, including even forcing someone on people. It is also a lesson for Kenya as a country here. So look at this. A sitting president trying to interfere with the constitution of Senegal, which gives a two-term presidential limit for anyone who has won the election. He was trying to extend it and attempting a third time in an election. But that did not work. The Constitutional Council of Senegal sat down and they said, no, this cannot happen. Again, in attempt, he tried to postpone an election by 3 weeks. Again, the Constitutional Council said, no, this cannot happen. So he was really blocked by every means using the court. After this, the attempt did not stop there. He went further, the sitting president, Macky Sall. He went further to detain an opposition leader to an election, almost to an election. But before this, I take you back. There was an opposition leader who was supposed to be on the ballot, Ousmane Sonko. But the sitting president, through his means, he blocked him because of some allegations here and there. So they blocked him from contesting for the president. That was the main candidate in opposition to face the government candidate. After blocking him, Sonko now endorsed a man that he had mentored as the opposition candidate, who is now the incoming president, Bassirou Faye. So he endorsed him. Then what happened? The Senegal president decided to arrest and imprison the opposition candidate. And it was during campaign time. So the man was released 10 days to election. And he proved a point. He was not only arrested as an individual. They were arrested, two of them. The opposition leader and the opposition candidate. What they were willing. Ousmane Sonko and Diomaye Faye. These two, they were in prison. Then released 10 days to election. But they managed to run a very successful campaign that gave them victory. And this was a landslide victory of 54.3% against a candidate that the government was supporting. So as we are speaking today, now Senegal is going to have one of the youngest presidents at the age of 44 years. In fact, this election gave him a victory on his birthday. So it was a birthday gift. And that's the new story of Senegal. Now, beside this, in one of the speech from the newly elected president, he is giving a warning to France that you've been meddling in our elections here. You've been making a decision. There has been neo-colonialism going on in Senegal, that you are making a choice that who should be our president. It is not going to happen. Continuing to colonize Senegal will not work. It's a warning he's giving, and it's an alarming to send to France to learn a lesson. Something that we can connect with what normally happened here in Kenya. We have those who believe that US mingled around our election here, that UK and others were involved to give us a wrong president. 2017, 2013, now 2022. So with all this, we can connect with what happens in Kenya to what he's warning France about. So I want to listen to his speech. Then you will continue this discussion through the comment section. But above all, remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Watch the video and drop your comment.
It is high time for France to lift its knee off our neck and put an end to this unjust oppression. Centuries of misery, human trafficking, colonization, and neocolonization have caused immeasurable suffering. It's time to put an end to this cycle of oppression. It's high time for France to leave us alone. It's time for France to take a cue from its European neighbors and learn a valuable lesson in independence. Germany is the leading economic power in Europe, significantly surpassing France, which is ranked as the third or fourth largest economic power globally. Germany does not exploit any country, any colony. I can mention Italy, I can mention Spain, who had colonies before, but who do not exploit anyone, who do not interfere, who do not impose leaders in their former colonies. On what grounds does France believe it can continue to impose leaders on us and make choices on our behalf? This must come to an end. And the emerging Africa, the African youth, the African elites, and the African diaspora all stand united in saying no, it cannot continue any longer. France's hypocrisy is evident and pervasive in daily life. Let's examine the cases of Mali and Chad as prime examples of this hypocrisy. In Chad, where the constitutional process has been interrupted, France applauded and its president visited to officially consecrate the new king's coronation ceremony. In Mali, where it is not the constitutional process that has been interrupted, but the transition process, France has condemned and even packed up its things to say that it is leaving Mali. That's hypocrisy. It's the double standard. It is the double language that France employs in its dealings with Africa. During our questioning of Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian regarding the situation in Ivory Coast and France's decision to allow a third term, he provided a clear explanation. He stated that while he accepted the third term for Ouattara, he refuses it for Belarus. He emphasized that France has condemned the situation in Belarus and has actively encouraged the European Union to do the same. Le Drian explains that in Belarus, millions protested, unlike Ivory Coast, where there were no mass demonstrations on the streets. This is how France deals with African issues. Personally, we expect absolutely nothing from France. We desire her to cease meddling in our matters so that the people of Senegal can exercise their freedom of choice rather than being influenced by France's selection of a candidate using the tactics we are aware of. We begin by targeting individuals, adorning them with the Legion of Honor or a similar knightly rank, enlisting them in Masonic lodges, and informing them to prepare themselves as they will be next in line. Even the hypothesis that Macky Sall may not succeed, we know who is being prepared by France. This must come to an end. It will not occur in this manner any longer. Let's be clear. We have absolutely nothing against the French people. In France, both political and citizen voices are rising to hold and express the same discourse as the one I am currently presenting to you. For example, the deputies, such as Mrs. Frédérique Dumas, who regularly speaks on the platform of the Assembly, who regularly writes to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, since she is a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, to raise this unfair behavior of France towards Africa, hold the same speech as us. The same Mr. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Jean-Paul Lecoq, André Chassaigne, all deputies, hold the same discourse as us, and hundreds of other voices. The NGOs, like other non-profit organizations, are doing remarkable work in the same direction. We strongly urge France to listen to the voices that speak to it about our plan for a more collaborative, fairer, and sustainable partnership between Africa and France. It is crucial that we work together towards a future that is equitable, just, and environmentally conscious. If she listens, I believe we'll have beautiful days ahead in our collaboration together. If he doesn't know how to cut it, thinking he can continue to function like in the time of our grandfathers, this African youth no longer accepts it. France must make preparations for a definitive break and completely withdraw from Africa. Africa belongs to Africans, not France. She belongs to no one else, neither China, nor the United States, nor anyone else.